two. I'm on one.
No, we're not on two.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I just went to two to get this.
Oh, Lordy.
We're on one.
I think I'm on two.
So two takes you like where you get all your, like,
Yeah,
where you get your,
vehicle registration.
exactly. And one
Well,
takes
that's
you.
where I park.
But I think that's where I park.
Yeah, that's right, parked in the front. There's some stairs, or you can just go back there.
We'll just ride again.
Oh, yeah.
Did you guys park somewhere else?
Yeah, we park on the side because there's actually fewer steps if you come in.
Dang it.
You're
Gonna have to figure
Okay,
this
are we gonna like come out here and
Yeah, I'd rather.
debrief?
Yeah, let's do that. I'm sorry.
Oh, there she is. There she is. We're like, where really you were?
Well, are we making a difference yet? Are we making a difference?
I talk to my election administrator every week.
We appreciate you. We're not going away.
That's fine.
More and more of us are coming.
Part of it's, that's fine, but the issue is, you know how many people I need to count paper ballots to go this way?
They do it in France. You know, I hear what you're saying.
500.
I hear what you're saying, but they do it in France.
The other big issue is the state law says that once you start counting ballots, you can't stop. And that's another big issue, because we can't, so we have to rotate those 500 people for weeks. If we go, if we go with count the EAC's guidelines on hand counting, manually, as soon as you get 10 ballots in the box, you start hand counting. The French don't do that. Even with the French not doing that, they start at the end of the day. So when the ballots close, that's when they start counting. They can still get it done within hours. And by the end of the day, at the end of the night, it's a 99% accuracy rate. Within 24 hours, they have a 100% accuracy rate. But they can do it in 60, 70 minutes. I don't see any reason why we couldn't. And if we started counting as soon as 10 ballots were there, we could be done by the end of the day. Sorry? Which law? Change state law.
Which
so? Which state law? Texas law says you can't begin counting the ballots.
He's asking for the statute.
Right, statute.
According to the law, you can count it, you can start 1 hour.
Yes,
I agree the poll after the polls, yes.
after the polls open. So we can be counting
So
during
we
the
can be
day.
counting throughout the day, and by the end of the night, there's not much to do. And what you would need, what would make it manageable, and this is what I've been floating around to try to get feedback on, is if you took the, you would need a new district, you would need to add any extra precincts. What the French do is they break it up into 1,000 population geographic areas. So one polling site for every 1,000 people. Two, three.
Prepared for me to increase your taxes to fund that.
If that's what's needed
You
to
probably
save the
wouldn't even
country,
have
I
to
will
fund
do
it.
that.
I can't believe you're even asking that question.
People would
It is the most
volunteer.
important thing that we have as a citizen.
But doesn't the electronic actually have a paper ballot? Whenever I go and I vote,
Yeah,
I get a paper ballot and then I go and I turn it in.
Do you read barcode?
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Do you read the barcode? Because who's to say the barcode on the top is saying what is saying
Because it
here?
never actually reaches the barcode.
Okay, but the Frisco.
Software is under intellectual property right protection.
Well,
You can't look at it.
Okay, well, since we're talking about this, the Frisco City Council actually had Frisco ISD School Board race did do a recount.
Yeah, we know.
Because
We were there.
all right, so they recounted all ballots by hand, and there was one vote difference
Mm-hmm.
out of how many thousands. So I'm just trying to understand what you think
Mm-hmm.
is actually happening in Collin County.
So were they able to validate that each ballot had not been manipulated or was fraudulent? So like if I gave you 5 $20 bills and 3 of them were really good counterfeits, would you know that I gave you 3 counterfeits, or would you just think I gave you $100 with the $5 bills? And what our point is that there's a piece of paper printing out that is a paper ballot, and it has a barcode at the bottom. And what you're trying to tell you is the little names that are on the top isn't what the computer reads. It reads the barcode, and the barcode could say anything. And you don't have to manipulate all the votes. You just have to manipulate some of the votes. So you can have.
But how is that manipulation happening whenever a voter has to go in, show their ID? So you're saying that
Remotely.
After the
It could
fact
be
or
remote.
during
It could be
the
remote.
what?
It could be firmware.
Would you like me to
During-
send you some information on
Sure.
this? What is your name?
My email is ringness, RING.
1 second.
Yeah, no problem. But I'm serious. I'm seriously interested on what y'all are understanding because I know there's a lot of
Keep it from me,
misinformation out there.
Are you a computer expert?
No, but I don't think you are as well.
I'm not.
No,
But I acknowledge I don't know, but I don't know.
But my area of expertise is diplomatic security. So I look at this from a threat assessment perspective, and I don't understand why the single
Okay,
most
thank
important
you.
thing that
Yeah.
we could do to maintain our republic, we depend on equipment that has been shown already elsewhere in the country to have been compromised. The one thing we learned from Tina Peters in Mason County, Colorado, was that we don't know what we don't know. She thought the election was fine. She thought everything went well, Trump lost, tough nuts. But when the governor ordered her to destroy that data, that made her question, wait a minute, I'm supposed to save it as per my job description. Why is he doing that? She saved it and she had it examined, and they found out there was a lot of fraudulent activity done electronically. And
So
that
y'all
opened up
think
that
that
can of
someone
worms.
from France or overseas is hacking into like individual electronic voter booths, or
It
what?
could be the equipment itself.
I'm just trying to understand y'all. I'm so confused.
I know. You know what?
And it
It gets
could be
back to
after
what
the
we
fact.
don't know, what we know, what we don't know. There could be a lot of those.
A guy by the name of Russ Ramsland in Dallas does this regularly. He gives these demonstrations all the time. Dallas servers are not secure. He can, at will, just jump on it anytime he wants and pulls up that data. What do you want today? Biden? Boom. Biden wins. You want Trump? Boom. Flips the votes. Same numbers. Just flips who it's for.
He does it in
It's
real
an
time.
algorithm, so they can do it with a USB drive at the back. They can hack in with a cell phone into the computer. It's an algorithm. I'm gonna give 2 to Biden. They can switch it like that.
But I'm hearing
Okay.
all of this. They can, they could, it's possible.
It's
What
been-
evidence do you
it's been-
have?
it's been-
What evidence? No, I'm just saying this is what y'all are saying. I'm not saying it's
I've
possible.
seen it happen.
I'm just saying, what evidence do you have that Collin County votes? Like somebody who spoke, I don't know who it was, mentioned that they specifically were going door to door and was knocking on
Right.
people,
Yes.
That was-
and they were okay. They looked at a voter roll and it said that this person, so and so, at this address, voted in this election. And then when they spoke to that person, that they said that okay, but where's that evidence? Where's that proof? It's a story,
They've got it.
but you just see what I'm saying?
It's been presented to Chris Hill.
Okay.
We presented it to him.
That's what I feel. I feel like if you had evidence to
37%
present,
anomaly
did.
rate.
that would be
That's-
different than just saying I've got a story to tell
What
you.
would it take for you to believe it? Let's put it that way.
I mean, evidence. I don't see.
So if we could show you for 100 people, 300 people we looked at were either dead or moved, and we verified that they're either dead or moved by the public's own data, and then he went and knocked on their door and found out out of 300 people, of the 100 we found, that 99 of them, in fact, either were dead or moved, would you believe it?
I mean, I think that having dead people vote is an issue, obviously, 100%. But what I have found in the past is that the majority of voters that have actually been found to have done that, or people who have used a name, it turned out to be actually a Republican who was doing it.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We don't care.
We
We don't
don't
care.
care.
This isn't left or right.
This
One
isn't
second.
left or right.
Security for our
Wait a
integrity.
minute.
Alright.
This is not, I'm going to tell you, this is not a party issue.
It just seems like it when you've got like
It's not. It's
8
not.
Republican precinct chairs
I'm not a
speaking.
precinct chair.
Oh, okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
I just heard
We're
several.
just citizens. I'm just a citizen. No, this is not a party issue. This Democrats should be worried about this too, because I think Republicans
they
have
were.
gone.
So
In
So
fact,
in
they
the
were the ones
primary,
screaming about
in
it.
the primary,
Yeah.
I run numbers, and I will tell you that the Democrats lost more votes to the Secretary of State than the Republicans did. That should be a concern to everybody, that my Democrat votes didn't count at the Secretary of State. They're taking away votes from Collin County. What we report to the Secretary of State doesn't match, and you can go look that up. Just by, just go to the websites and look and see, does what Collin County reported, does that match what the Secretary of State says the number of people that voted, and it doesn't match, and hasn't for
I'll send you
years.
her video that she's did.
So where's the hiccup? Is it Collin County erring in reporting that
That's what we're saying.
information?
That's what we're
We
trying to
want you
figure out.
investigate and figure out where is the problem.
look, there's some Democrats that should be in office. This is what we're finding. Not only Democrats, but Republicans. It's not a party issue. It's not. It's a machine.
It's the integrity of the vote.
Integrity issue right now. And I think if we got rid of the machines, we'd find that there's trigger points for both parties that are being manipulated. And it's sad.
Well, one thing that I was questioning about when you were talking about going door to door, as I've myself, block walked and spoken to people, a lot of times when you're looking at your voter registration or your list, you've got a name on there, but there might be a different person that answers the door, a family member, kid, brother,
Right,
and they might instantly be, right, they might be like, no, I didn't vote, and they might leave. So you might perceive this is John Doe, but really it's John Doe's brother who's watching the house while John's out of town.
Most of the time-
So how do you verify without saying, show me your ID, let me check this voter roll, you're on record stating, let me film you real quick stating, I did not vote. You know what I'm
Here's what
saying?
we did.
There's error.
Of the 37% anomalies that we found in our pilot canvas, most of them were from a house that was owned by the person that voted, but it was his investment property. The people that lived there were the ones that were living in the house. He voted, but they lived there. That's still a problem because you're
I agree.
supposed to vote using your address, your domicile. These people took, I didn't vote. What are you talking about? I live here. Yeah, no, that's my landlord. So that's how we knew that.
Yeah.
But that's still a problem. So, and Chris has acknowledged that, to his credit. So,
Becoming more involved in the political sphere, it was definitely alarming the amount of realtors, lawyers, CEOs that are involved. And I'm like, you do the dots. Why are so many
it
realtors?
doesn't follow the money.
That is a good question.
Yes. And what is your name?
Jesse. My name is Jesse Ringnes. I'm actually running for Texas House District 66.
Yes.
I'm running against Matt Shaheen. He's probably y'all's friend, but it never Jesse Ringnes. Yes. Mark.
Thank you for the
Yeah, of course, no problem. But that's what's important is that we're not yelling at each other. We're not fighting. We're not arguing.
We gotta work together to do it.
Well, that's why I gave her my email address to send me whatever
I will
information.
absolutely send
you have.
send you something, Jesse.
Yeah.
Because if you win that vote, if you would win against the machine, we would
You'll be talking to
support
me.
you. Right. And we want to talk to you,
Yeah.
right? And we want it fair across the
That's
board.
right.
And
Agreed.
a lot of us are not precinct chairs. We're just citizens who have actually just found some discovery as well, and we're just trying to wake up the commissioner's court right now.
Okay.
Most
What is?
people think that most people who are involved in this, either they're afraid that their party's not gonna win, and if you're from my perspective, I should speak for me, that there's a one-party system, and then so they say there's Republican and there's Democrat, but really there's a good old boy network, or
100%.
whoever got in, and everyone else who didn't.
Right.
And so there are times that I might even prefer somebody else that I don't necessarily agree with, but I know that they're not corrupt,
Right.
and they believe in the Constitution, and they're
Right.
looking after what they believe is best for our country, not
Correct.
what's best for them individually.
Right. Not trying to line their own pockets.
Right.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
So that's what we're really concerned about here. The other things we can work out over a long period of time, and I may be wrong about a few things, and you may be wrong about a few things, or we may come to a place where we're right about a lot more things over a long period of time. But if one of us is corrupt, it doesn't really matter. It's all a game.
Yeah.
And that's what we're saying, is that
Yeah.
it's obvious there's a great deal of corruption.
I would just also caution, I'm sorry.
No,
Sorry for
no,
interrupting.
no.
I would just caution about, I know that there is a lot of misinformation out there, and I'm not like towing a party line. It's out there. Whether it's Russia online, whether it's France. I mean, there's things that are happening that we don't know about. So I would just as y'all are saying I should look into it, I would just caution that,
There are a lot
make
of
sure
people
that,
with a lot of agendas.
right.
So yeah,
That's true.
We do our homework.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a lot of people that have really done their life's work
Yeah,
in checking
spend a
this
lot of
out.
time.
I mean, since the 2020 election, I think that it came to light not just for Republicans, but for Democrats as well. In Georgia, 9 of the Democrat legislators, or wasn't that right? 9? They came to our side in Georgia. And we're with County Citizens Defending Freedom. We're trying to bring it here. We're not here yet. But they are in Georgia, and they're checking things out. And 9 Democrats said, oh my gosh, We are not about this.
Yeah.
So we're not trying to separate parties here.
Okay.
We want the parties.
I just got that
together.
vibe when I heard I'm a Republican precinct chair. I'm a new precinct chair. I was
Some
like,
people did,
this
yeah.
seems
Some
like
people did.
there's an agenda here.
Well, the agenda is that a lot of those people up there are Republican, and this is a Republican county.
Right.
And the more we say we're Republicans, it has more resonance.
They might listen more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But this really this is a bipartisan issue, it should be. Just like our constitutional rights should be a bipartisan issue.
Right.
But you have HBO. There's a documentary.
Oh,
called
I
Kill
don't.
Chain.
But
And the vast majority of the people who are speaking in there as witnesses, as politics, are Democrats. It came out in
Kamala
2020.
Harris, it's Amy Klobuchar, there's several.
what's it called?
Kill chain.
Kill chain.
Kill chain.
Yeah, watch it.
They were all describing before the 2020 election how these machines were corruptible, hackable.
And we went
shouldn't
to
be
a
using them.
seminar.
Yeah.
They did it live. They showed us
They
how
watched
it's
us
done.
live. It was during the primaries. We went to a election symposium, and right there, live, they hooked into a is it like a voting booth, a voting area? They had a voting area, and they changed votes right then, right in front of us.
It was like ones or zeros, computers are ones or zeros, so they would just put the 1 to the 0.
Or 2 and 1, you know?
It
And
was
then
it was astonishing to see it happen.
And it was like 4 clicks.
They
They
said
did
you
it
could
3
be
different
In the
ways.
parking lot on
Yeah.
your phone doing it.
He did it live with a desktop, did it on a phone, and then he just kind of like dropped the plot in there, and then waited for the time to click off, and then the plot just executed the thing on its own,
Yeah.
and then it disappeared.
It was astonishing.
Yeah.
Really?
Every American should be worried about that, not just
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is much bigger than parties. I think it's an elitist group that is doing this, and they all kind of have their picks of what they want and
Yeah.
who they want. And we as
The
citizens should be
the
angry.
backdoor meetings. And
So true.
My point from this though is more like a threat assessment thing, because I see the machines as almost unlimited possibilities in how you can manipulate them. So, and paper, there are some ways that you can mess with paper, but machines are unlimited. Paper gives me 100 doors I gotta cover. I'd rather cover 100 doors than 1,000,000 or unlimited number of doors. So, and now with knowing what I know now, seeing how the French do it, I think the complexity that they're throwing at you, well, you can't do it by the numbers, so it takes too long, blah, blah, blah. That adds complexity. Complexity makes it more vulnerable. So if you keep it simple, you're golden. You know?
Have a good day.
Thank you. Yeah. So I'll send you some videos.
Okay.
There's been people that have done so much research. It's out there.
Okay.
And, I will
Well, I
send
am
it to you
interested
for
in,
sure.
in seeing what you have to show. Yeah.
Yeah.
We forgot something.
Well, it was nice talking to y'all. Thank y'all for entertaining me. Of course. Of course. Is this?
I think I parked on 2.
I think. I don't. Actually, I'm gonna look outside. I don't know.
Tar, do you?
Thank you. Have a good day. You're welcome.